we go. So, if you recall last time, you managed to get out of the plants.
Mm-hmm.
And they healed you to some extent. Repaired wounds, and I believe a few of you took samples for later.
Mm-hmm.
And walked you out to a large stretch of still dead land.
Mm-hmm.
And Cain was able to connect to them again and got really a view of war from the perspective of plants, right? As you're beginning to puzzle out what they're wanting, what they're trying to communicate, as you're staring at this wasteland. Does anybody remember what happened at the very end?
I remember the vision.
I remember the vision. I remember that we found some Mandalorian shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think we heard the sound of fighting in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we heard blaster fire.
Mm-hmm. Blaster fire off.
In the distance, across the wasteland, you all heard the sound of blaster fire kicking off back and forth. And I will roll an extra one for the two that are gone.
Harley says that we should get a light side point, or Joe should get an inspiration for being funny.
See, I saw that. But Charlie refuses
I
to
accept.
Star Wars.
I don't know shit about Star Wars except that Jodie Comer's in it.
Charlie refuses to Star Wars. You cannot help. But you all heard distant gunfire. And this is the first sounds of, I don't want to say humanity, but I don't necessarily want to say sentient. I don't think there's a Star Wars term for this.
Sentience?
Well,
Civilization?
Sentience stretches a lot in Star Wars.
It certainly does.
I guess civilization would be the closest term. So, this is the first sound of civilization that you all have heard, really. Even the camp that you all landed at was relatively quiet beyond just the sound of people talking back and forth. What do y'all do?
Hold on 1 second. I'm taking a note.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, repeat that.
This is the first sound of civilization y'all have heard, really. Even though the camp was quiet. So what do y'all do hearing this gunfire across this wasteland? You assume in the jungle that you can see growing on the other side.
Cain whirls around on his heel and looks at Iffy. Like, gunfire. Do we go?
I imagine he's looking at her and he's kind of like lifting his brow to like shaking his head a little bit, right?
Yeah.
If he does the same thing right back at him, And she's just kind of looking at him a little intensely. I mean, I guess we should ask the person who's in charge of this whole expedition.
She's dedicated to this bit.
Kane, like, has this sudden, like, pit drop in his stomach as he realizes he's supposed to be in charge still. And he has to make a call. And he looks in the direction of the blaster fire. And he waffles on it for a good, like, agonizing 30 seconds. And then he will look back over his shoulder at everyone. And the plant people who are still kind of lingering, right? They're still kind of lingering.
Yeah.
I look at them. And how are they reacting? Do they seem to care?
Not particularly. Of course, they also are not quite as close to the group as they were. Because remember, they are not stepping out onto that wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the group has wandered forward a little bit.
Then Kane is going to look to the others and say, let's go check it out. Carefully.
Right. So you're heading across the wasteland, and there's still that heaviness as you're walking further out towards the center of this dead area, where even the force itself is stringy and finite. And there's a few minutes of silence, and you think, oh, maybe I didn't hear anything. Maybe we're just going in a direction without really having a reason to. And then you hear the blaster fire again. And it echoes and bounces around, and you know it's not coming towards you. You don't see any blaster shots racing through the air, and you don't even see it exiting the line of the jungle on the other side. That's getting clearer and closer. But this time there is what you clearly hear as at least 2 separate blasters going off. Are you moving with any speed towards it, or are you still being very slow and cautious?
Moving with speed until we see someone, probably.
Okay. So you move towards the jungle, and you find when you reach just, close enough to the edge of the jungle where it starts to grow again, you see if you turn and go a little less directly towards the sound, there seems to be an old pathway. You can see that the paving stones and rocks that you assume used to be an actual path remain. It's been grown over and disturbed, but it's still cut into the forest a little bit. Do you diverge towards the path, or do you try to go directly towards the sound?
Does the path go towards the noise?
It goes into the jungle. You don't know if it goes towards the noise completely or not.
Like, where we see the entrance is, like, can we see a little bit ahead down the path?
I mean, it's going deeper in, for sure. But you're not, without going onto the path or being near the path, you can't tell if it veers off or not.
How annoying would it be to blaze a trail straight towards the blaster fire?
any more annoying, you would assume, than it already has been getting through the jungle. But you also know that if there's a reason for you to fight or the others to run, it could prove a little hazardous.
Well, we'll go down the path and see if it takes us closer to the blaster fire. And if it turns out it doesn't, we'll just cut straight from the path and leave, or head towards it.
Okay.
Also, like, the blaster fire we hear, is it like sustained, like machine gun fire, or is it like one shot and then like a long pause, then 1, 2, and then
It
like,
sounds
or does
like
it sound like a gunfight?
you hear at least 2 guns that are going off, not at the exact same time, but in rapid succession. Kane would be familiar enough with warfare and fighting to recognize that it's either 2 people that are firing at a similar time, or roughly one after the other, or somebody that has 2 guns that is firing at the same time. Doesn't seem like there's an exchange.
Can we determine the type of weapon being fired?
That I will need a knowledge warfare check at 4.
You want me to try that?
Do you acknowledge warfare?
Yeah.
They're the
Oh, I guess that
Oh,
makes
shit.
sense. Yeah.
Huh.
Go for it.
No promises.
Can we all try?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. Nope. Damn. Damn.
Oh, you said 4?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And, wait, hold on. My other character. Is it gonna roll?
Should let you.
I don't think it rolled, so I'm just gonna hit it again. I'm sorry if this rolls twice.
There you go.
You know what? Not a single pass among us.
Damn.
I kind of love that, though.
It is a hard thing to do, though, especially in the nature of hearing it in the jungle, where it doesn't echo quite the same as you would be used to in a city or on a ship. For the advantages, Tia and Raven would know that it is not a super high caliber, at the very least. So, more than likely, something like an automatic kind of rifle or a pistol.
Okay.
The sounds aren't quite chunky enough and are shooting a little too fast for somebody to be using something like a sniper blaster of any kind. But you diverge over towards the path, and so you're moving as quickly as you can. You start to hear other noises, generally in the way that you're moving through the twists and turns of this path. It's uneven and not quite the easiest walk, or the easiest jog, I should say. But it does provide some protection from having to hack away at vines and push the way through brambles and thorns. And it's more just dealing with uneven steps as you're moving from flat stone to flat stone. But you hear ahead movements of... At first you think something large, and then you think something's large. You hear another ricochet of blasters going off, and realize that it's... Yeah, that's one, that's two distinct blasters. One after the other. And you hear the cracking and breaking of wood and tossing of stone. And you also hear running water. How close do you want to get before you slow down, Kane?
How close does it sound?
Like it's maybe a bend or two more in the path.
So like longer than a football field away, probably?
Probably right at. Maybe just a little more.
Yeah, now would be probably a good time to start being stealthy. Kane will, throw a quick glance over his shoulder, make eye contact with everyone, then turn to face ahead, and he will hold out his hand, palm down and fingers splayed out, and he'll slowly lower his hand to the ground, like he's turning down the volume on a wall slider switch. And as he does, he will go into a crouch. So like one fluid movement of sink down.
Okay.
I think seeing that Iffy will also try and sink down. She's nowhere near as elegant as he is. But I imagine that this is something they've probably run a couple drills on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Raven's already kind of hunched over because the jungle's miserable for them, so it doesn't take a lot to go well.
They're just like, oh, thank God.
We're not running anymore.
Just sag slightly lower.
If you'd like, you can try to sense what's going on, Kane.
How?
Roll me a force check. This will be at, for the distance, 2 and a black.
You end up. Perfectly empty. Perfectly balanced.
So you start trying to ping what's going on and close your eyes for a moment and reach out with the force. And you can sense living creatures ahead. You're not quite sure how many, but it's more than just one or two. And there seems to be some variety in size. Are you continuing trying to be stealthy?
Yes, Kane is going to stay stealthy.
Okay. Let me see here. Da-da-da. What is your... Okay. So, contested stealth checks here. Need stealth rolls from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be 2 red for Raven
Oh,
and
Huh.
2 red and a black for Iffy, Tia, and Kane.
Okay, 2 red and a black.
well,
Stone.
here we go.
2 red.
Oh,
Iffy.
oh.
Oh. That just makes sense for her, doesn't it?
I love the sound effect for the despair.
that was so fucking. All right, 2 red, 1 black. We're doing so good.
So you
I feel
all
like if he's consistently bungled stealth checks, and this time it's not just because she's huge and dressed in white. She's huge and appropriately attired.
she needs some dexterity help.
Uh-huh.
She needs some dexterity help.
It's the camo heels.
It's like, did you really need the wedge boots? You know, I don't think you needed the wedge boots. But you all are starting to go slow, trying to creep up along the path, and as you round a particularly large tree that has half overgrown the path, leading most of the stones for a little section of it to be, well, you don't know if they're gone, but they're not where they're supposed to be. And you're climbing over the roots, trying to stay in this relatively open area all the same. Raven, surprisingly at the back, despite hating the jungle, you've managed to keep relatively quiet, cautious and careful as you're climbing over. But you see in front of you, Iffy starts to slip and slide down this route, scrambling, trying to keep herself upright, but with only one hand. She can't catch herself before she starts to tumble over the side, knocking right into Tia. And Kane, at the front of the group, you turn, having cleared the route mostly fine, and end up with 2 women sliding directly into you.
Good.
But as you are
Stealth.
catching these 2 and trying to keep them from completely eating it, you hear a low growl, and you look, and let me move you all over here. You peek around the bush of, or the batch of trees, and see path leading towards a river, but also at least one large creature standing right on the rocks to the river. And let me see if I have this ready to share.
Can't see. I'm blind.
Shush for a second. You see this? And fuck, I don't have that image anymore. Another one looks a little off from that. And you can't see. Why can't you see?
Neither of my guys can see neither.
In right-click vision options, it might have vision set to 0.
Ah, there we go. Thank you.
You just want to delete that so that it gives me normal vision.
Can you see now, Joe?
No, but let me reload.
I also cannot see.
I've not changed yours yet.
Oh,
Figuring
bad.
out one token and then I can change everybody else's.
no worries.
No, I cannot see.
Fuck. Hmm.
Oh, those things. Wait, we were warned about those things.
Can you all see now?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Might need to reload, Matt, if you're still not being able to see.
Well, that's a lot of people.
Yes, I can see it.
There we go. And you realize that you can only really clearly see this one and this one up ahead across the river. And none of them are moving towards you, but you do see this one's kind of swinging his head down in your direction. You hear another quick couple of shots of the blaster, and you see blaster fire shooting towards this one. What are you doing as you are trying to right Tia and Iffy onto their feet?
Sorry, I had to type some stuff for these. I'm trying to take notes.
You're good.
But so we can see the Black Panther looking creature, right?
You can see the more white one,
Gotcha.
and you can see the one on the other side that's in the clear-cut path. The other side of the
We
river.
can't see the other one.
You can't see this one. Behind some
Gotcha.
trees. Essentially,
The one that
if you see trees, assume that you're going to have trouble seeing around them.
Okay. This one is not looking at us, right?
No, it seems to be vaguely aware of something going on, but it's not looking at you yet.
Okay. Kane is going to help the women upright, and then he will carefully get his saber out and not ignite it, just have it ready. And he'll put a finger to his mouth and just give him the shush. And he is going to slowly creep forward because he wants to get closer to this thing.
You shush, I almost twisted my ankle.
He just gives Iffy this like wide-eyed, just like, what do you want me to do?
Shouldn't you be taking the blast out? What are you gonna do? Throw it at them?
He doesn't say anything. He like frantically like gestures with his hands, and he gestures like points to himself, points to the creature, puts one hand out like pointing in the same direction the creature's pointing, as if his hand is supposed to mimic that creature. Then he takes his other hand and does a little walkie motion, but stealthy walking, like tiptoeing, to getting closer to the creature. And then he points to himself again.
If he looks at him, and you can see the gears turning as she's like, okay. And then she will nod, and then she'll point to herself, and then point to the spot she's in. And then I think she makes a question mark with her good hand.
Kane thinks about this for a second. He looks over his shoulder back in this direction. Nothing's changed. They're all still where they are.
Mm-hmm. This one, you do see that the one that is being shot at actively seems to be kind of dancing closer, kind of starting to go into the brush where it starts to get harder to see. And then you see another handful of blaster bolts fly by and it kind of moves back. So there's something going on that it's trying to get to that you know are people at this point.
Kane will gesture to follow him.
Okay.
For just a little bit.
If he will nod.
So Kane is going to tiptoe up. For right about here.
Give me another stealth roll. Same one.
Used to be foliage there. Stealth rolls from everybody?
Yep, everybody else moving.
Oh boy.
Damn.
2 red, 1 black. And...
Iffy, you're killing me.
By all rights, it should not be happening. I think I'm just cursed. I think nobody should ever ask me to roll stealth.
I think we've just figured out what the dice are telling us about Iffy. The dice's addition to Iffy is that she cannot stealth. They embrace the dice giving you lore. Because that's why Alyssa can't do telekinesis.
I love this, though. It's so funny.
So you continue to creep up along the path, watching as every, minute or so, this creature steps into the underbrush, gets shot at, kind of jumps back, and it's just long enough that you start to see another one moving in from the depths and shadow of the jungle on the other side of the river. And Kane, roll me a perception at 2 purple really fast. Or a survival, whichever one you'd prefer.
Perception is good. At what difficulty?
2.
Yeah, that's good.
So you're walking closer and closer and kind of getting a better view of the trees around you and what's remaining of this path that you're walking on. You can see that there was very clearly some sort of struggle and fight that started on this side that carried over across the river. Claw marks and blaster bolt burns and something else that looks like it's lashed out at the ground, like striking across it multiple times. And you see it starting more towards this clearing that you're past, moving onto the trail and across the river into the underbrush. And you realize that this is... You think these creatures either ambushing or hurting these people that are firing. And as you get a little bit closer, you're trying to read the scene, and you slip. The sound of your shoe hitting just right off of a broken flagstone, cracking underneath you, immediately rings out in your head, and you can feel more than you even see attention shifting. And as you're feeling that attention moving in your direction, seeing this creature start to look more closely at the path into the shadows that you're trying to stay in, you hear the telltale signs of a very tall woman eating shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the muffled noises of Tia trying to help, but that just making her make noise as well. And you hear a growl from around the tree that you're trying to tuck yourself into.
I like to imagine as if he's beefing it, she curses, but instead of saying like motherfucker, she says fatherfucker. Tia's catching her, but is also like, what does that even mean?
And let me see where my controls for this are. We're going into combat.
Okay.
Combat, going into combat. Why are we in a wuxia movie?
Yeah, this just doesn't sound like a struggle. This does not sound like combat music.
It sounds like a struggle, but it sounds like a wuxia struggle. Are you rolling vigilance for initiative, or?
I'm trying to get this combat tracker to work with me. It's not working
Mm.
with me right now. So give me a moment to see if I can beat it into
Mm-hmm.
submission.
You have to remember to shift to diamond form, and then hit E.
Mm.
Have you guys been playing Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
I played a bit the other night, Rosema.
How was it?
It's a lot of fun. However, in solo queue, people do not like to play tank, and it is incredibly difficult to solo tank as Emma Frost.
Mm. She's not designed to be a solo tank at all.
I think she's like I want to try a game where I just stand around the healers and chokeslam people because I feel like she'd be good at that.
Yeah, she very much gives the vibe of something that's designed for like an anti-dive.
Mhm.
Really? Really? I think we're gonna do this. Yeah, fuck me, I guess.
Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. This is a good one, Joe.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like this one.
We're doing it the old-fashioned way. I'm tired of
Everybody
fighting.
get your pen and your paper.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Vigilance are cool.
Fighting me since I updated it. There's something fucky going on. For everybody, all of you, trying to remember now. I've just forgotten all the rules in my head. My frustration has made me brain dead.
I think it's vigilance if you saw it coming, cool if you didn't. Is that right, Matt?
Yes. Vigilance if it's vigilance if it's unexpected. Cool if you're
All right.
Yeah,
aware.
the other way around from what it
Mhm.
said.
Alright.
So, for everybody, I imagine it's cool for the party. Because you all
Alright.
have a suspicion. So just
Two difficulty, no difficulty?
straight cool checks from everybody.
Alright. At least I'm good at that. Yeah, that's right! 8 successes!
Holy shit.
I did it.
Oh.
I know! Alright. Man.
Ugh.
Give me a second to roll down. Why do I keep closing the character sheets that I need?
Ancient DM light.
So for these guys, it would be a fit. Cool check, actually. end of each round. Oh shit. Did you roll for Tia 2? Yes, that's where the point 2 came from. Because there's 2 of those. Okay. So we have creature, player, NPC. I will prompt y'all.
Mhm.
So, you hear the growl, Kane, and
Mm-hmm.
you immediately hear the sounds of movement from around this large tree, and as you're watching, you see a figure walking through the shadows, and you'd swear it almost melts out of the shadows. It's larger, roughly the size of a horse, with long, slender legs and massive claws on each foot. And as you're watching it, you immediately connect the pieces of seeing those slash marks on the ground as the tail whips around behind it, and you see it cut clean through a vine. And it turns large golden eyes on you. And there is something in the back of your mind that immediately prickles in the force. And you can feel that sensation that you only get when something or somebody force sensitive is looking at you. You see its lips curl back and fangs bare. And it lowers itself into this predatory stalking position as it moves into the clearing of the path. It doesn't act first, but there is no doubt in your mind that there is a predator that is now turning its attention to you. And I will take this. Will be a guarded stance for it. And it's player's turn. Who wants to go
I
next?
don't think I have anything that is good to go first. I don't have like quick strike or anything like that, if anyone else does.
Tia does have quick draw and quick strike, so she can go first. But I don't know, Z, would you count the beastie as having moved this turn?
It does. It has moved.
Yeah, then that wouldn't affect things. So if you want to go first, that's okay.
Okay. Then yeah, Kane will go first. Kane is going to ignite his lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta refamiliarize myself with all of the stuff he can do. Let me see here. I don't think he has anything that is particularly useful right now. there are a lot of creatures. Kane is. I wanna try and do two things. I want Kane to tap into the Force and use Force Enhance, but I also want Kane because he like the creatures he's seeing. Do these creatures seem familiar? Because I think they're familiar to Joe. I don't know if they're familiar to Kane.
You would have, from the prior research done, getting to this planet and the discussion with the researchers.
Bless you.
Good?
Let's see.
Thank you.
Okay, I didn't know what that noise was.
Sorry, I was sneezing.
He would be able to hazard a guess that it's probably Vornskiers, which he has
Okay.
some information about.
If I remember correctly, there was a creature on Mirkur that he was supposed to look for that was Force sensitive.
Yeah, and you've been told that there's a handful of creatures that might be Force sensitive.
Yeah. Are Vornskiers on that list?
They're one of them, yes. You just
So,
don't
I
know
want
in
Kane-
what way nor how keen they are in the Force.
Yeah. So I want Kane to tap into the Force to activate his Force enhance, but I want to. I don't know if this is a thing that you would make me roll for if I can do it, but I want to make ripples in the Force, make it known that he is using the Force to other Force sensitive creatures in the area, in the same way where you throw a rock into the middle of the water.
Mm-hmm. This will be a good time to use that alternative Force rules that we have adopted. So, explain to me how he does this mentally, where his head is.
So he is trying to broadcast to the creatures that he is not going. Kane is trying to broadcast to the creatures that he is much stronger than he looks, but he is not going to attack unless he has to. It's sort of intimidation tactics.
Okay. So, now I get the hiccups, man. Give me a second. Okay. I think they're going. I hate hiccups. They hurt. Okay. So, I will let you. I want you to roll for this. This is interesting. So you're already beefing yourself up with the enhance, correct?
Yeah.
Dedicating your force die to that.
Yes.
Okay. Roll me. Yeah, just roll me a straight up brawl. This will be a 4 and a blue.
Can I use a light side point to upgrade?
Sure.
Team.
Yeah.
then great. Don't fail me now, light side point. Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah, you send these ripples out in the force, and you can see that the Vornskara in front of you immediately kind of hunches down just a little lower, and its ears, which are already kind of turned backwards, pin. You hear that low growl again. Its tail flicking and slashing behind it, and this one over here, its head immediately turns in your direction. And you see it kind of hunker down. But while this one, you're aware enough of how animals interact and move that it seems to be having the desired effect on this one, where it's suddenly much more cautious. This one, less so. And as you kind of glance past your immediate threat towards it, there's something wrong with that one. It's larger, and all of the black fur, the sleek black fur, almost panther-like, that's on the one closer to you. It's a little bit more expected from what you've been told and read about Vornskirs thus far. It's almost washed of color. The black fur faded into grays and whites and silvers, and the only thing black on it seemed to be spines that are growing out of it.
Spines or vines?
Spines.
Gotcha.
I have a question.
Yes.
When Kane does his cool, intimidating ripple thing, does Iffy get the heebie-jeebies?
A little bit, yes.
Nice.
And this one turns away from where it's staring across the river, takes a step off of the stone that it's on, and you accessed your force powers, you did your force sting. I think that's all you can do with your turn unless you're taking strain.
No, I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this one gets closer, and as it does, there is an immediate, almost queasiness that hits your stomach, Kane. And even yours, Iffy, as you meet its eyes very briefly. And Kane, you know this thing is not right. There's something that has been done to it or affected it in a way that, well, the one that's directly in front of you is force sensitive, still feels natural. That one doesn't. And it slowly creeps closer.
Kane, I imagine, has his saber out to the side and his other arm out, fanning in the opposite, on the opposite side. So he's kind of like made himself wider to kind of keep people like stay behind me, kinda. So he can't really stop them if they go around.
It's not going around. It comes close to you and it lets out this growl, and you see the blood red of its mouth. And almost too fast for you to fully process, it lashes out with its tail, turning halfway, and you hear the almost whip crack of it striking towards you. Let me see here. What is yours? Do you have a melee defense?
I have one.
You have one.
Stun 4.
Didn't quite get it. But it does do 5 damage to you. Before soak.
Does it get through soak?
No, it doesn't have anything to get through soak on his tail.
Okay. I have 7 soak.
Okay. And that is its turn. We have a player turn.
All right. Do you want to go, Matt?
Do we have a
Okay.
plan in particular here?
If you're gonna do something that requires
No
strain,
idea.
if he has inspiring rhetoric, so she should go after you. So if you want to double maneuver or something like that, you can use this slot to do that. Otherwise, we can also either have you move or have Tia move, but I think if he shouldn't go quite yet.
Raven doesn't actually have anything to spend strain. Their only real additional things in combat are making knowledge checks or boosts or a triumph.
Do you have ranged attack?
Yes.
They do have a chunky rifle.
So you could do that if you want.
Who are we attacking first?
I'd
The
say the
knowledge.
weird looking one. But up to you.
So for range bands, where would close and medium or short and medium be?
You're right at the edge of short. Right now to that. If you want to move back a little bit, that'll move you into medium range with it.
We'll try dropping to a knee where we are and shoot it. Any modifiers?
Let me see this one. Because I don't think I rolled with the right sheet a second ago. I did not. Oopsie. No additional modifiers.
That is enough to crit.
Hey.
So that'll be 8 damage and 1 crit.
Ranged heavy. That is a chunky rifle.
God damn.
So you're wanting a crit here. Would you like to roll the D100 or do you want me to?
Not really.
36. Okay. This one here. 36. Stinger. It gets an extra purple on its next check. Not bad. Alright, and you said 8 damage?
Yep.
Alright. Then it is these these two's turns. Let's see here. This one is going to move in, disappear into the jungle for you guys. And we're going to roll this. Okay, that's a miss on it. And this one's going to also disappear into the jungle. Fucking, I closed it again. Another miss on that one. Okay. Tia and Effie.
Mm-hmm. Are we up?
Yep.
Oh, okay,
Back to
cool.
back.
Well, that works out. All right. So let's do Tia first. Let's see. I think the positioning is probably fine here. I think she will, if allowed. Actually, no. Let's just do an aim maneuver. Get ourselves a boost.
If you have a gun.
No, Tia.
Oh.
If he does have a gun, but she's not shooting. So we'll do a aim maneuver to give ourselves a boost die, and then we'll do 2 shots toward the spooky looking one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So that'll be
I
2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then a blue.
So 2 purple and then 3 purple on the second hit, right?
Yes.
Oh, we removed that setback because she does have a called shot.
Gotcha.
So that's one, and then we'll do the next one. I'll use that advantage, if you don't mind, to pass myself a boost on my next roll. So that'd be 2. All right. That's 2 hits for a total of 18 damage.
Okay.
And I will use 2 advantage. I'll give Kane a boost on his next check. All right. Then for Iffy's turn, well, she's going to duck into some foliage. She knows what her job is in combat, and it is ducking into foliage. And then we'll do Inspiring Rhetoric, which is an average leadership check. Cool. All right, that's everybody can heal 4 successes. 4 strain if they have strain. I don't think they do yet, but you know what? Just in case. And with 3 advantage, we'll give Raven a boost to their next check, and I will pass a generic boost on with 1.
Okay, Raven gets a boost. And Kane will get a boost. Whoever is the first top of the round next. And then these 2 gotta roll their shit. Fail. And this one. That's a fail. What the fuck?
I sure hope those two don't die while we're trying to get to them.
That would be funny, wouldn't it?
That'd be some shit.
We're back at the top of the round. Ward scares again. This one's pissed off. Let me double check its abilities. Because it's gotten hit several times now. Oh, yeah. I forgot it had that.
Love to hear that.
Yeah, it should have been harder for y'all to do shit for this one. Oopsie.
Well, I can turn it back on this turn. Pum, 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 pum.
So it is going to lunge at Kane because it's still the closest one, and he's still got his force shit up. And there is. Roll me either force or perception. It will be different information you get, Kane. And it's going to be 3 purple.
I'm so much better at perception. 3 purple? I did check my gear. I have an integrated scanner. It gives me a blue for perception to detect movement or hidden enemies. Would that be one of these?
Repeat that? I'm sorry.
I have a scanner on Kane from the Deathwatch armor, and it says I get a blue on perception checks to detect movement or hidden enemies. Does that matter here?
No, not on these two because they're not hidden.
Okay. And you said 3 purple? Okay. Oh, I didn't think I succeeded for a second there.
As you
got a boost.
Moving.
Don't forget your boost.
Oh, whoops.
Well, this will go to his next. Give it to his next actual turn because this is extra thing.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
As it lunges towards you, you catch its eye, and there is almost a manic light in it. Not only is it off in the force, but there is not just hunger driving it, but something else you can't quite place. But it is... You feel suddenly less like a match to these creatures, and for just a very quick instance, like prey, before it tries to bite down. And it will bite you, and I did not actually plug in the weapon roll on this sheet because this is the custom one. Yay! Good going, Z. Where are my dice? This sheet plus this. I'm just gonna roll it off this one and change it. And you have a setback dice for your armor. And you don't have anything on the enhanced tree as of right now that fucks with another character's attacks, I don't believe.
Correct. I just have boost my brawn.
Gotcha. abilities. So that is 7 plus 6, 13. Okay, goes through. This one does go through 1 point of soak. And then
Gotcha.
it has. As it bites down, you feel its saliva start to sink into your armor and past the cracks that it puts into it. And you'll take burn 2 on this, as it has acidic saliva. So you will take an additional 2 damage on your turn whenever you decide to go. That'll be for the next 2 rounds.
For the next what? For the next 2 rounds?
2 damage.
Gotcha. So I take 1 now, 3 now, technically?
So you're taking 13 from the actual bite before soak. It goes past.
Oh,
goes
okay.
Past 1 point of soak.
Gotcha.
And then when you go next, at the start of your turn, you will take another 2 damage.
Okay. I gotcha.
And then next round, you will take another 2 damage at the start of your turn.
Okay. I'm up to date.
And roll me athletics really fast. Is it athletics? Yes, athletics.
Athletics.
At 3 purple.
You get a boost on this because I'm huge. Cool.
Okay,
Should you also apply your other boosts?
you stay up. Not yet.
That hasn't.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet, because I haven't done my roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Sorry. My bad.
You're good.
Oh, you're right.
Thank you for keeping up with the boosts.
I will forget.
Mm-hmm.
Rest assured.
It is now just kind of latched onto your arm. And you can feel that acid dripping down onto your arm. And you see the kind of manic light in its golden eyes as it's staring up at you. And you hear and feel that rumble from its chest as it lets out another growl. But it is now, I assume, your turn, unless somebody else wants to take the first slot.
Does anyone else have anything, or can I take it?
You're good.
Okay. And Kane is going to furiously whip his lightsaber onto this Vornskir's head. And he's going to attack with his lightsaber.
And it will be 3 purple, because that's part of its upgrades that I forgot last time.
3 purple. I get a blue.
You get a blue. You can also do something ahead of time to give you another blue if you want to use your maneuver for it.
Do I want to use my maneuver to give myself another blue?
Or you can give it a black. If you take guard.
Yeah. No, he'll do it to give himself another blue. He'll go all out. Only 2 successes. All those dice and only 2 success.
Is that including your other boost?
Yes, it is. I didn't forget. Contrary
You
to
have
what I
2.
said. Yes, because I used my other maneuver to give myself a blue.
No, I mean you should have 3, friend.
3? I
What?
thought you only gave him 1.
She gave him one targeted and then 1 generic to the next ally to make a roll.
The targeted went to
Oh.
Raven, didn't it?
No, she did to both.
Oh.
Tia gave
Okay.
1 to Kane, and Iffy gave 1 to Raven, I believe.
I can throw another blue out there.
Yeah, you can roll another one. Oh.
Fuck.
Well, you know, at least we rolled.
I tried.
Yeah.
Okay. You slice at it and you cut into its hide. You realize there's not any armor or even thick hide. It seems to just be a slick, normal jungle creature. But as your lightsaber cuts into it, it breaks a couple of the spines growing out of its back, and you see a green liquid that starts to drip out of the spines. And wherever they land, it hisses and burns. Both itself and the area around. It is this one's turn. And it doesn't necessarily want to fuck with you. You managed a good intimidation, but it did see others. It disappears into the jungle. And Iffy, you hear it coming around behind you.
Oh, that's not great.
It gets right about here. It's player turn.
You want to go about?
Sure. We're gonna protect the boss.
Being that close with your rifle will give you a black to your roll.
Alright.
Okay. 1 success. How much damage is that?
8.
8 damage.
Pass the boost on to you.
Tia's got blue. You shoot at it and manage to hit it right in the shoulder as it's coming around the tree. And there is this howling, guttural sound that comes out of it as you hit it. And it kind of Tokyo slides its back end around, right? And now it's staring, feet spread wide, almost a pouncing position, staring at you, Raven.
That's good.
These two's turns. Up here, all four. Yes. We're gonna do this. So that's gonna hurt you a good chunk, Unfortunately. And this one. That one misses. So those attacks. Kira,
Mm-hmm.
roll your characters.
All right. So Tia's going first. And now the funny looking one has attacked Kane directly, right?
Mm-hmm. It is
All
banded
right.
to his arm currently.
Okay. Can I try and aim for the jaw specifically to get it to like let go?
You can try. That'll be a black on top to focus aim like that.
All right. So let's do that then. 2 and then 3
Mm-hmm.
with the additional black.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, we'll leave that black. This is shot 1. All right. And then shot 2.
She will take a strain for that threat.
Heard. All right. Am I taking more strain there?
No, I'm gonna give myself blue.
All right. Strain taken.
That is.
Should only be down to 1 strain because I used Inspiring Rhetoric. Cool. Yeah, so she focuses fire, tries to get Kane free as much as she can there. I don't think there's any maneuvers I want to take. So we'll just leave her planted there for now. Iffy is looking over at this fella here. Now, this guy has rancid vibes, right?
Yes, very much so.
What is this guy's vibe?
Jungle predator.
Besides Jungle Predator. Okay. We're gonna...
Hungry jungle predator.
Yeah, we don't want to be here. I don't think we want to
We
be
don't
here.
like those.
So... we'll do another Inspiring Rhetoric, and then we'll use our maneuver to move. Might actually have Tia use her maneuver to move as well, but it doesn't make sense to do it that way in this order. So... where is leadership? Average difficulty. Bam. Well, everybody heal 5 strain if you got it.
5 strain?
If he's really good at inspiring
Holy
rhetoric.
shit.
If he
I need to
panic
use
chatter in
parry.
the back.
Yeah. So, 3 advantage. Fucking. Let's do targeted to Raven, and we'll do 1 generic boost. And Iffy is gonna try and shit. Not very many good places to go here.
Nope. In some ways, you're in both the worst and the best place. Already.
Yep. Oh, we do not like this. Will you let me take a maneuver to hide?
Yes.
Are you gonna make me roll stealth?
I should.
Can Iffy get a blue on her attempt if she dives into the bushes that are like briar patch, like
Yes,
pricker bushes?
I'll take that.
Yes, at the risk of giving yourself 1 or 2 wound, you can dive into the briar patch to hide.
I'll take that. Alright, let me roll this stealth then. We did it!
We did it.
Take a wound. You did it.
If he dives into a briar patch and is just like, you can hear her cursing behind you, Raven. But she did it.
She's
that'll
been there.
that'll be.
Yeah, she is using words that you have never heard before, Raven, and you have been around a lot of different people.
Imagine like she starts and then she just like switches to Hapen very early on.
Mm-hmm. You have a sneaking suspicion that you will learn Hapen curse words very fluently on this ship.
Just a bunch of misandrist slurs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Please do something. No, you didn't do anything. Okay. What about you? You just got hurt. Please do something.
Hey, that's a hit.
That's a hit. Let's turn around. Okay. So, then we go back around top of the round. This warrior, as it is, it did get shot in the jaw, so it did release Kane's arm. But it will attack again. Here.
I have parry.
Boost,
I will use parry.
which gives it a black die if I remember correctly. Or no?
Parry?
Yeah. What's parry do?
No,
Reduces
parry just
the damage by the
reduces
amount.
damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's distracted? Fucking go away, troll. There we go. Is that it set? Ooh, that's it set. Okay. So that will again 9 damage before soak, going past 1 soak. And
I will parry to negate 3 of it and take 3 strain.
it will use its ability. As it bites down again, you feel it not only crush and burn into your arm. Because I imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, Kane is kind of using his arm as a shield, trying to divert it so it doesn't get to his core.
Yeah.
And you feel it bite down and pierce into your skin. White hot burning of its saliva as it hits your hit with it burn too again. And it will use its maneuver for its ability. And you feel like the force is starting to be drained from you.
Oh.
And roll me a, what was the thing on this? Let me read it again. Roll me a resilience check at 3 purple.
Resilience. I am supposedly good at this. There we go. It's pretty good.
takes this down. It will heal itself for 2. And you'll take only 2 strain with those 3 successes.
Okay.
And then at the start of your next turn, you'll take another 2 burn damage. Which I assume your next turn is now.
Yes, probably. Okay, so Kane will take 2 damage, 2 wounds.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine can't be mitigated by soak.
No.
Kane is going to do exactly what he did before. He's gonna go after it with the lightsaber. He will use his maneuver to aim, and he is just gonna rip into it with this blade. Do I have any other blues coming in, or is it just the aim one?
You're the next character making a roll, so yes, you get 1 blue.
I get 1 blue. And it's how many purple?
2.
2 purple? Okay.
Actually, 3. 3 because of this thing.
3. Okay. A lot of advantage.
Mm-hmm. That ways to spend them.
I will
Crit?
crit
Twice?
twice.
Do you have lethal blows?
I have... No, I have Sunder and Breach.
Well, that's not bad. So,
Raven critted already, so it should be upgraded from that as well.
Mm-hmm.
oh, so plus 20.
Yeah, so plus 20 and then plus... Well, it's... First one would be plus 10, the second one would be plus 20.
So this one is 100 plus 20.
First one is plus 10.
Oh, so it's plus... This should be plus 30 then? Because I'm using my 5 advantages to do 2 crit, like, and then buff the crit by 10.
Hold on. Let me reread this. It's been a second.
I believe that's how it works. I don't think you can get
Yeah.
multiple crits on the same hit.
I think it's if it's the same hit, you increase it by 10 for every advantage you spend equal to crit.
Yeah.
My old GM fucking lied to me because that's the way I've been doing it.
No worries. If you want to do it that way, then feel free. You are the GM after all.
Yeah. Roll at plus 30.
Plus 30.
Oh shit.
111.
Ooh, we're getting nasty.
111. Temporarily lame. Cannot perform more than 1 maneuver per turn. Okay. And is that your turn?
Yeah, that's it. Satisfied with that.
Yeah, and it is this one's turn. Hi, Raven. You're looking
Hello
awfully
there.
tasty.
General Kenobi?
Will lunge at you and try to bite. Does Raven have any defense?
1.
1. Okay. So that is a 7 before any soak, and you can spend those 3 threat however you would like.
Does this one also pierce 1 soak?
No, not this one.
Okay. as it would. It's better just to try to stop them from getting eaten. That's 3, so there is.
Force it to drop its mouth.
That's not gonna
You
work.
know, all of its teeth fall out.
By Ra!
We'll do the free maneuver in response, and Raven will aim at it and make it take a strain. Why not?
Okay. And I believe that'll turn us back around to your turn anyway. Raven, this thing has bit down on you. What are you gonna do?
You know, we're in a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
Should never have done this, but you get this where you gotta stand your ground. Pretty consistent on this single success, but you know, I'll take it.
Well, you can't shake a finger at those advantages though.
Yeah. Suddenly 8 damage, and do I just crit it twice? Do I just?
It's not bad.
But yeah, we'll give that a shot.
Rolling on the crit chart's always fun.
God, night fucking hell. 106. Horrific injury. -1 penalty to random characteristic until injury is healed.
Now we just need to hit it in the brawn. We did not.
This one and this one. Did you roll a D10? Roll a D6 for me.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Hey, that hit it in the brawn.
There you go.
Exactly as planned.
Is that your turn?
Yes, it is.
And just for future reference, should you continue to have to fight this one in particular, you're using your rifle, I'm assuming, correct?
Yes.
So technically with a ranged heavy in close combat, unless you have something to counteract it, it's 3 purple.
Okay, my bad.
You're good. We all fuck up. I just fucked up, so... Let's see here. Who is next? Is these two? You guys gonna kill the scientist? You might kill the scientist. I meant it as a joke, but okay. Aww. That's gonna be this. And then again, the other one. Yeah. That. then you Master Pistol. You on your Blaster Pistol. Okay, okay. And you just hear the gunfire and the growls and such going back and forth in the distance across the river. And you see suddenly, Kane, two figures that are running out of the jungle towards the path, seemingly not really paying attention to down where you are, but both are limping and bloody and very clearly in escape mode.
Can Kane shout to them?
Mm-hmm.
Kane, wrestling this thing as best he can, will shout, "Run this way!"
Okay. That brings us back to this one's turn. It's gotten pretty fucked up. Let's see what it's going to do here. Oh yeah, that should have been... Is it... starts to... Wait a second. I skipped EotE and Tia, didn't I?
That's alright.
Yeah, do your thing.
Alright. Man, stuff sure is happening. Alright, Tia first. Both of these have a grip on the besties, right? I'm gonna fucking... What is Tia but a bunch of trick shots and a coat? So she's gonna try and hit both of these things in the jaw separately.
Yeah.
So first one here, Kane. And then step back. Cool. And do I get the boost for called shot for aiming or not? No.
Aiming is called shot's done by aiming. It's like an aim
Yeah.
maneuver to do that.
So aim maneuver then. This one is going for Kane. That's a triumph.
Hey.
So we'll call that a crit. She is lethal blows 1 rank. I'm not seeing anything on this about, nothing else. Now this one's been crit twice, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. 1 crit and 1 double crit.
1 crit, 1 double crit. So
Which
that
would be
is
40.
40. And then with the lethal blows, it's 50, right?
Yes.
All right. Tia, kill. 54 doesn't. That's fine. That's fine, I guess.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Joe.
That random number generation, huh?
All right. This is gonna be the shot toward Raven now. Okay, let's fucking see what we got. Increase difficulty by 1. Sorry,
Ooh.
I missed.
Those double failures.
Double failure, son. All right. Man, are you looking rough?
I've only been bitten once.
How much? You don't. You have like 2 hit points to rub together, don't you?
I got some, you know.
How
I'm
much
at
is some?
4 wounds out of 14 threshold.
4 wounds out of 14 threshold, so you have 10 more to work with.
Yeah.
Okay. Kane, how are you looking, buddy?
I'm right about at half.
Okay. Do you want a stimmy?
Sure.
If he will crawl over through the brambles,
Stab him in
and
the
she'll
butt.
hit. Yeah, I think she does stab him. Like she's like trying to stay low, so she catches him like right below the ass. You know?
Kane would yelp in the most undignified way.
Right in the nice thick meat.
And there you go. Heal 5 wounds, buddy.
Kane would have the Tom and Jerry scream.
Yeah, I think he does that, and then if he's like, "It's okay, Kate, suck it up."
Then right back into the brambles.
Yeah, then right back in the brambles.
That's where adrenaline's supposed to be shot, isn't it?
Yeah, you gotta get in the thigh meat.
You're like, after this, Kane's like, "We need to talk about your stim pack placement."
Where do you inject your stim packs?
Look, just be glad that if he doesn't think that stim packs are stored in the balls, okay?
Oh God.
Anyway, that's my 2.
Okay. So that'll be 5 healing to Kane. And now it's this one's turn. It is not super thrilled. You see that there's something in the light of its eye, Kane, that as it's hit over and over again, and you see more and more wounds open where on the core of the body it looks like a wound you would expect, but every time one of those spines break, more of that acidic liquid, you don't know if it's blood or something else, starts to drip out. And the area around you and even bits and pieces of your clothing and cloak are just riddled with holes and burns now as every drop burns through whatever it touches. You see, there is some sort of recognition of it's in trouble. And it lets go and turns to run. As it does, it take one final swipe at you with its tail. And it is this one plus one. Actually, I need to use this one because this one. For 7 damage. And you can use the threat however you would like against it. You still have burn at the top of your next round, though.
Can I make it trip and fall?
Make it drop its feet!
What is with you and dropping shit?
played a Bakashi duelist. That's like
Uh.
80% of what you do.
You can make it fall prone. That is a 3 using all 3 of the threat.
Oh shit, it dropped
Yeah.
its feet.
Drop
Have
all
that
of its-
critical
all of
wound,
its feet.
and so you see it trying to scramble over, but one of its legs is not working completely correctly with how you have wounded it, and it tumbles over the side and is prone over here.
Perfect.
It's your turn. I'll take a maneuver to walk over to it if you're wanting to do that.
Kane will look to the 2 down the way and he'll say, "Run this way!" And he's going to turn. And how is Raven?
They're doing great.
Trying to shoot at something currently biting down on them with essentially a sniper rifle.
I know it's the right thing to do. Kane's gonna go help Raven. Can he get
Mission.
Can he get up to this creature in one maneuver?
Yeah. Take your whole maneuver, but you can get there.
Get right up in its grill. And he's gonna lay into it with the saber. And it is difficulty... How many purple?
This one will be 2.
2.
Mhm.
Can't aim. I don't get any blues from Iffy, right? Because she
No, I
poked me in
didn't
the
do
butt.
it. I just stabbed you in the ass.
Okay.
You
Or
didn't need him. You're
success.
good.
I didn't need him.
Okay. 10 damage. You can spend the advantage however you would like.
1 advantage? I'll recover 1 strain.
Because I'm not out
That's
here
one.
recovering it for you.
Huh. You recovered so much strain, and I was like, fuck, dude, I only had 2. I gotta start using, but I gotta get strained.
Inspiring rhetoric is really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
He very kindly let me have it by exchanging 2 other talents to get it.
That's because it's a lot. It goes a long way, especially when you get Kana back, who uses fucking strain all the time.
Yep.
Alright, that's your turn. It is now this one's turn. It does not have the brain capacity of the other one, unfortunately. So it's gonna try to take its meal while it can. Let's see here. This is 2. You have 1 defense on Raven. Yeah. Slower on Braun. Oh, oof. Raven, you can spin the threat however you see fit. As you take 6 before soak. As it starts to try and drag you away, but it's a little too hurt to do it effectively.
So is it narratively or mechanically holding on to them?
Narratively.
Could I take the 1 free maneuver to just get some distance?
Yes.
Okay, we will do that. And make it take another strain, why not?
Cool. And you're up. You're back to your 1 purple.
Well, let's see if we can take this one out. Aim. Is this still in the closeness that it would be a setback still, or no setback?
This would be a setback, but it's only 1 purple.
I think that is 10 damage.
How you want to kill it?
Nice.
Yeah.
How's Kane approaching this? What's he doing?
Kane ran up and swung his lightsaber in a somewhat ungraceful way by just swinging it like a bat. And then once he hit it and kind of got it to pay attention to him, he took a step back and then held his hand out and his lightsaber out in that wide stance again so that he could kind of like just get it to look at him and kind of fanning his arms out so people behind him would stay behind him. Kind of like a guard maneuver, blocking.
Alright, when he interposes himself, Raven kind of stumbles away and tries to get distance, and without really being able to watch where they're going and shoot at the same time, they take a clear shot at it and then immediately fall in their face.
You did it, buddy.
Hey, whatever works here. Yes, it goes to these 2 now. It is chasing, so it's going to do this. Oof. Okay.
Maybe he's gonna have to do some serious surgery.
Especially considering you see both the figures in the distance that Kane called out to, have turned very quickly, like about face, to try and head towards the river, hoping that there is indeed help. But I think it would be EotE and Tia and Raven, if they look in this direction from their position on the ground. You see one of the figures get hit by a tail and go down.
Oof.
And they're out. And then this one, let's see how you do. This one is chasing. Also hit them with a tail. They are still up though. Tia, EotE, your turn.
Alright. This one is down, right?
The one in front of Kane is dead, yes.
And this one is prone?
Yes.
Alright. You know what? Okay, I'll take Iffy's turn first, because she's gonna be a dunk ass. I will use Inspiring Rhetoric. I'll do my job. Everybody heal 6 fucking strain.
Hell yeah.
And then Iffy is gonna double maneuver, so she'll take strain. I think that's 2?
Yes.
Take 2. And she's gonna double move toward the other 2. How far can I get?
Okay, so you're trying to get up here?
Yeah.
Double. You could get right about here, right at the crossing of the river.
Alright. That is ideal for me, so that is what I will do. Tia, I imagine, is going to curse very loudly. Sees the fallen guy. Does she shoot before she goes? I think she would.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll take pot shots at it before we head out. Do you want me to modify the roll at all because it's, prone?
Let me double check it real fast.
Because I remember the Pathfinder roll for that.
It is a extra black when it's targeted by ranged attacks.
All right, so hit 1. My
Hey.
God, just barely. And hit 2. And 2 advantage, pass to the next person to go. And then she'll also spend 2 strain to take another maneuver. And she will head after Iffy with a single maneuver.
Okay.
Yeah. How far can she get?
She is getting a single maneuver, so she gets to, like, this.
All right.
Because it takes a full maneuver to get across the water.
Makes sense. I imagine as if he's bounding across the water, it's abundantly clear that she grew up in a sailing household. It's like, wait a second, you do actually know how to navigate, don't you?
Only in water.
I imagine she's going and like picking briars out of her hair and her face.
Yes, I like that. She like dips her head underwater for a quick second.
Roll. And I'll do a bit of damage to... She'd probably want to do this one since it's attacking her friend. Okay. And then it does the void skill turn. This will take some strain, stand up, and keep hobbling away. It's right about here to the edge of the forest. Alright, who's up first?
Hold on, I'm writing something down.
Joe, would you be terribly opposed to Iffy taking the first slot?
No.
Alright. Man, if you big gigantic idiot. This one's down, right?
Yes.
How down are we talking?
You know that they aren't moving.
Okay. This one's still up, right?
Yes.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and stimmy this one.
Okay. That will get them awake again. So you run up, and it is. Why do I forget Salonian? Salonian? The other people?
The other people are Salonian, yeah.
The Salonian in kind of adventuring garb that you see. With the kind of heavy duty leathers and, jungle wear, boots, and even her tail is wrapped to make it a little bit more secure. You see that she's actually dyed a stripe of her fur on her head like a person might dye their hair. It's a bright blue. As she kind of blinks, her eyes open to you. There is confusion, and then pain, and then fear, and you see her start to scramble for the gun that she had dropped when she fell unconscious.
I think if he sees that and is like, hey, what's the fucking matter with you? Get going! Get out of here!
And beside her, you see a fairly petite female Duros. In similar gear, though a little less worn. Her skin more on the purple end of blue. And she is, both of them, pretty dirty, and you assume in the jungle for a bit. And both supremely fucked up by this battle they have been having with the Vornskiers. And then another player turn. Who wants to go next?
Kane is just gonna spend his turn chasing. Unless he could somehow get to this Vorn skier and attack it. It's 30 feet. That's actually a lot closer than I would have guessed. Unless this is inaccurate.
It's roughly accurate. You would take an entire maneuver to get over there.
I would be willing to do that. Because I definitely can't get over here. But Raven, you have a gun. I feel like you should go first.
You know, yeah, if you want me to go, I can.
Get him. Shoot him.
Alright.
Raven, kill.
Well, shoot
So-
either. You could shoot anyone, really.
Would 2 maneuvers get me into short range?
Yes.
I
Alright,
forgot you
so
could do that.
about here, so.
Mm-hmm.
Do either of them look visibly more damaged?
The top one looks a little bit more damaged. There's a few more burn marks from blaster fire on it.
Alright, we will fire on that man then. 9 damage.
Alright. And that's your whole turn, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Okay. Then it is both of these guys. This one is not getting fired on by somebody else, but it still sees a meal in potential. So it's going to attack again this scientist. And that gets a plus blue because she is prone. And she is knocked out again in your arms, Iffy.
You fucker!
This creature bites down on her and starts to try and drag her away. As you are just holding on for dear life, I assume.
Iffy with like one arm wrapped around her, because she can't get the other one around. It's just like, hey, drop it! Drop it!
And this one is gonna attack the arrows. Still up, luckily. Hey, and misses. Kane and Tia.
Okay.
Aim,
Kane.
kill.
I really want to go after this one.
You could double maneuver
not-
over and attack it.
He could do that, but it'd probably make more sense for him to double maneuver over here and attack these ones.
Yeah. Two maneuvers.
But then again, he
would-
can't actually see what's going on up here.
2 maneuvers would only get you roughly to where a raven is.
Mm-hmm.
Because the water takes a full maneuver.
Is it difficult terrain?
Yes.
I have Swift.
Ooh.
Because of that, can I make it to either one of these bad guys up here with a maneuver?
You could get close enough for striking for this one.
It's not the one I want, but I will. Well, wait, hold on. I forgot I had this. It's been too long. I have the blaster modification on my
If you
In
literally
I'd
told
say-
you about that!
I forgot about it.
She leave
I-
at the top of the session!
I forgot. I was taking notes. Shut up. I was writing notes.
I forgot about that! It's been too long! Bitch!
Joe has been a good boy and has been taking notes. I have seen.
I've
That's
been
true.
trying to take notes.
That's true. I'm teasing.
This is why I don't take notes,
teasing.
because I miss shit. I can't multitask. Kane is going
It's his
to
first day on the force. He just got his twink license.
just got my twink license. I will move Kane up here, and then how far can I get with just one maneuver?
To where you are.
Okay.
And then you can use
Then-
a secondary maneuver if you want to aim.
Yeah, I'll take 2 strain and aim at the one that is currently holding someone in its mouth.
So that will be 1 purple.
1 purple, 1 purple. Can I upgrade this?
Yeah,
Gang?
go for it.
Can I shoot. Yes! Worth!
Very worth.
Okay. You'll take 2 strain. 2 additional strain.
Yep.
And then
2 strain.
how would you like to kill that one?
Hey, good
Kane
job.
rounds the corner and he sees the creature is like, I imagine it probably looks like rabid dog holding a rope toy where it's just kind of like thrashing its head back and forth while if he holds on with literally 1 arm.
Mm-hmm.
Kane is going to point his blaster lightsaber mod at the creature, close 1 eye and focus for a second, exhale and shoot, and then hit it like on part of the side of the head, and it'll go in at the eyebrow and out at the jaw, just like a straight
Ooh.
shot at this oblique angle.
Nice.
This one is dead. Tia,
All right, Tia.
attempt to kill.
Yes. Am I within shooting distance of this one?
Yes.
And it's already moved this turn, right?
Yes.
All right. Let's try to kill. I don't think I get a setback because I'm not doing a called shot here. Although there's a setback on the weapon naturally, it seems. So, whatever.
think it's got a modification that does that.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So that'll be 1 hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's try for hit number 2. Alright, that's 2 hits! We did it. Pew pew!
And
Hell yeah.
precisely the amount that you need for Tia to kill.
Oh man. I imagine that, like, Kane's shot goes off, and then there's this moment where Iffy, like, kind of tumbles backward because of the force she was applying to try and hold on, right? And in that moment, like, Tia manages to shoot this thing. We'll say she puts 1 in each eye. It goes down.
Perfect. I imagine all 3 shots go off like almost like pew pew pew.
I like to think they're, like, interlaced, too, because they're crossing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Kane, roll me a perception at 3 purple.
3 purple. Is this to detect the movement of creatures?
Yes.
Okay, I get a blue.
I love the specific questions that get asked about abilities and feats and stuff.
Oh, it's so much threat.
Oh, that's a lot of threat, buddy.
You take a breath after you have killed these 2 Vorns here on the other side of the river. You turn your head just enough to catch the sounds of this other Vorns here rushing into the woods and disappearing. And there's only that first initial rustle of it entering into the foliage, and then you don't hear anything. Aside from the rushing of water in front of you. And the scrambling of people across the river. As Duros rushes closer to try and aid Iffy with her fallen friend. And I think that's where we're going to call it tonight. So
Okay.
that hopefully next time we have a Mindy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We
quick
did not
question.
do post-combat healing.
Are you
Waiting for the mini.
are you giving that Vornskir nemesis levels a la Shadow of Mordor?
You know, that's an idea.